So here's where we are in the story. After God made the world and everything in it, and after people messed it up and it wasn't perfect anymore, and after God decided to start the world over again with a flood, but save Noah and his family, and after Noah's family had children, and they had children, and they had children, and they had children, and they had children, after all that, there were people on the earth again. Lots of people, and they all spoke the same language. Can you imagine that? Everybody could talk to everybody else without any problem. So they did, and they had lots of ideas. One day they said, hey, instead of using stones, let's make ourselves some bricks to build with. And they did. Then they said, hey, let's make a city and a tower so tall that it reaches to the sky. Because then we'll be famous and known. Everybody will look up to us and want to be like us. And won't that be awesome? So they started building brick by brick, and the tower got taller. And they built ladders, and the tower got taller. And they built stairs, and the tower got taller. And they said, well, look at us. We really are something, aren't we? They were pretty happy with themselves. God knew his people were inventing bricks, building cities, and making towers. And he liked that because God loves creativity and ideas and new things. But you know what he didn't like? They weren't making a tower to point people towards God. They were building it so that they would be the famous ones. And God knew that wouldn't be good for them. If they kept thinking they were more important than God, they would destroy themselves. And he loved them way too much to let them hurt that way. So he stopped them by confusing them. One day, as they were living in their city, making their bricks and building their tower, something happened. Suddenly, they didn't all speak the same language anymore. ¿Por qué? Ah, no. ¿Dónde está el gato? ¿Qué? ¿Vas? ¿N'est-ce pas? They all spoke completely different languages. Suddenly, maybe one guy spoke Swahili, and another spoke Italian, and another spoke Mandarin. Vish bedastas? What are you saying? Suddenly, it was really hard to work together. Me llamo Dora, no entiendo. So frustrating. Ugh. They would misunderstand each other. Vish bedastas? I don't understand you. Or accidentally say something they didn't mean to. What did you just say? Hasta la vista. It made it hard to keep building their super tall tower. They couldn't make big plans to be as famous as God anymore. So they stopped building their city, and everyone went in different directions. They scattered across the whole earth. The place where God confused people with different languages was called Babel. And that's where we get the word Babel, you know, like blah, 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 blah. God knew his people needed him, not a tower. They needed a rescuer. And God had a plan to do exactly that. And I can't wait for you to hear that part of the story.